Right now, as you watch this, something extraordinary is happening in the cold darkness between the planets. NASA's latest images from the interstellar visitor known as 30 Atlas have revealed something so strange, so unexpected that it's forcing scientists to question everything they thought they knew about space itself, because for the first time in history, it looks like something might be growing on an object from another star system. Before we dive deeper into this cosmic mystery, take a second, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me your country in the comments below. I'd love to know where in the world you're watching this from as we uncover a story that might redefine what we call life. The story begins several months ago when NASA's Pan-STARRS observatory first spotted a faint, fast-moving object entering our solar system from deep interstellar space. At first glance, it seemed routine. Another interstellar traveler, much like Oumuamua or Borisov. But 3I/TLS didn't behave like a rock. It shimmered faintly, not reflecting sunlight as expected, but glowing softly, as though something on its surface was alive, or at least reacting. Astronomers quickly turned the world's most powerful instruments toward it. The James Webb Space Telescope, the Hubble, and even ground-based observatories in Chile and Hawaii. What they found sent ripples of disbelief across the scientific community. Under ultraviolet and infrared filters, sections of 3IAT began to change color, not randomly but gradually, like the way moss spreads across a stone when sunlight first touches it after a long winter. It wasn't just a reflection of light. The spectrum indicated chemical activity, carbon chains, trace amounts of nitrogen, and most shockingly, organic molecules forming in geometric clusters. Some NASA researchers described it as biologically patterned crystallization. Others simply said, "It looks like something is growing." But how could that be? Space, after all, is brutally hostile to life. Temperatures near absolute zero, radiation strong enough to tear molecules apart, and no atmosphere to protect or nurture growth. Yet, here was an object from beyond the solar system, displaying surface activity that mimicked biological behavior, spreading, adapting, evolving in real time. The first images that NASA released were subtle, just small specks of color variation on the rocky body. But within days, new images revealed patches of strange, filament-like structures forming along its edges. They looked like frost at first, but unlike ice, these structures absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Their chemical composition didn't match any known mineral or compound. When analyzed spectroscopically, the data showed something remarkable. They were carbon-based, but with an organized lattice resembling proteins or amino acid chains. This sent NASA's astrobiology division into a frenzy. Could we be witnessing the first-ever signs of interstellar life? Not from Mars, not from Europa, but from an object that originated light years away. Dr. Karen Mitchell, one of NASA's leading exobiologists, put it beautifully. If these patterns are biological, it means life didn't just start on Earth. It means life travels like a cosmic seed carried across galaxies by rocks like this one. To understand how something like this could happen, we need to think of the universe not as a cold void, but as a living system. Every comet, every asteroid, every fragment of dust might be carrying the building blocks of life, frozen in time, waiting for the right conditions to awaken. When 3I Atlas entered our solar system, it crossed through regions bathed in sunlight for the first time in perhaps millions of years. That energy, photons traveling across 93 million miles, struck its surface, heating it, activating chemical reactions long dormant. And perhaps, just perhaps, that energy triggered something ancient, something that remembered what it once was. Scientists are cautious, of course. They don't want to declare life prematurely. But even the most conservative voices admit that what we're seeing is unlike anything we've ever recorded before. When the Webb telescope captured new thermal images, researchers noticed a faint, rhythmic heat emission as though parts of the object were absorbing sunlight and releasing it in pulses. It's a pattern not seen in any known natural body. It's not mechanical. It's not random. It's structured, mathematical, even purposeful. Some theorists are daring to suggest that 3IAT might not be entirely natural, that perhaps what we're seeing is not life as we know it, but the remnants of something engineered long ago, a biological machine designed to survive the void between stars. Imagine that, a seed of life traveling across the galaxy, carrying within it the memory of another world. Many of you watching might remember the excitement of 1969, the first moon landing, when humanity looked up and realized we were no longer bound to one world. Or perhaps you remember when Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space and sent back that haunting image, the pale blue dot. For decades, we've been the ones reaching outward, and unlike any visitor before it, 3 Atlas might be carrying a story. As new images arrive from NASA's Deep Space Network, scientists noticed something else. Faint emissions like whispers in the radio spectrum, synchronized with the object's rotation. At first, they were dismissed as cosmic noise. But when those signals were analyzed, a pattern emerged, one eerily similar to sequences found in DNA coding. Could this be a form of primitive communication, or something even deeper? The beginnings of a biological process awakening after eons of dormancy. Let's take a moment to imagine that. A fragment of matter forged around another star, drifting through space for millions of years, carrying within it the blueprint for life, and then, by pure cosmic coincidence, it passes near our sun, and the light of a new star brings it back to life. It's poetic, almost biblical, but as always, science demands caution. NASA and ESA are currently analyzing these findings with immense care. They're comparing them to known abiotic processes, things like cryovolcanism, solar radiation chemistry, and microcrystalline growth. And yet, none of those explanations perfectly fit. The structures seem too organized, too purposeful. And here's where things take an even more mysterious turn. As 3I Atlas moved closer to the sun, it began to shed particles, tiny specks drifting behind it like a luminous tail. The James Webb Space Telescope captured these particles reflecting light in strange, almost iridescent patterns. Some of them appeared to contain microscopic structures, spherical, hollow, and arranged in repeating geometric patterns. When scientists enhanced the images, the comparison was inevitable. They looked like spores, microscopic, self-contained, resilient. If that's true, if those structures really are organic, then we may be witnessing panspermia in action. The theory that life can travel through space, spreading from one planet or system to another, carried by comets and interstellar debris. And if even a fraction of that theory holds true, then the universe isn't just a collection of dead worlds. It's a living ecosystem, vast, interconnected, and ancient beyond imagination. Of course, skeptics are quick to point out that life as we understand it requires liquid water, atmosphere, and stable temperatures, none of which exist on 3IATL. But perhaps that's our limitation. Perhaps life doesn't always need to look like us, breathe like us, or even exist in the same form. Maybe life in its most fundamental sense is the universe's way of organizing chaos into order wherever it can. And that brings us to the philosophical heart of this mystery. If 3ILs truly show signs of biological or pre-biological growth, it means we are not the center of creation. We are part of a cosmic continuum. Life in that sense becomes not a miracle but an inevitability, a pattern repeated across galaxies taking different shapes and forms, each one a reflection of the same underlying code. When I think about that, I'm reminded of something Carl Schwann once said. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Maybe 3 is another way, a message written in the language of chemistry instead of words. What if this is how the universe communicates? Not through sound or symbols, but through the simple act of creation, matter transforming itself into complexity again and again. The plan is to use the James Webb Telescope's spectrograph to analyze the light bouncing off the object. With even higher precision, if the spectral signatures continue to show complex organic patterns, chains of carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen arranged in repeating sequences, It would be the strongest evidence yet that 3i Atlas isn't just a rock. It's a message. And perhaps that message is this: that life is not confined to Earth, that it was never ours alone, that it exists everywhere, waiting, sleeping, evolving. Imagine that, a universe teeming not with silence, but with the hum of creation. Planets forming, stars dying, and somewhere in the icy void, life still finding a way to awaken. For those who've watched the cosmos all their lives, from the moon landing to the Mars rover, from Voyager to the James Webb, this is the next great chapter. It reminds us why we look up at the night sky in the first place, because deep down we know we're connected to something infinite. So, I'll leave you with this thought. If NASA's images are indeed showing something growing on 3i Atlas, then perhaps we're not witnessing the beginning of life, but the continuation of it, a cosmic story older than Earth itself, still unfolding in front of our eyes. Do you believe it's alive or something even greater? Tell me below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still believes in the magic of discovery. Because someday soon, when historians look back, they might say this was the moment. Humanity realized life doesn't just belong to us, it belongs to the stars. And maybe, just maybe, 3i Atlas came not to surprise us, but to remind us that the universe itself is alive and it has never stopped growing.